well short, by the way.
Swap, maybe. Or maybe, yeah. Maybe we should swap. Yeah, probably.
You look tiny.
Fuck it, is what it is. Cool. Yeah, well, we're here in the Shenandoah National Park, and it's pretty unbelievable, to be fair. But yeah, it's just a video. We've done Mammoth.
Done it.
We got
The patch.
Got the patch. Take came in, got the t-shirt, got the patch. Got the stories really. Yeah, crazy few days, crazy trip. I mean, we've still got a couple of days left, but it's. I don't know, what are your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, good. It was harder than I was expecting. Mammoth itself, a lot of fizz, a lot more fizz than I thought. Well, not that I thought, but a lot more. The conditions were different. It was hotter than I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was expecting cold weather. Obviously, it's cold now, but during the rucks, that would. I mean, you guys have seen. I was running pretty hot. Shooting wise, as expected, I think. Pistol wise, as expected. Rifle wise, I would have liked to do a bit better. But fortunately, we're going to be getting these rifles back to the UK, which is exciting. And we can now build data on them for the year, which is good.
Yeah. If we sort of break it down then, so we turned up on the first day, so we zeroed, we zeroed initially at a friend of ours, and we planned to go further, so we planned to basically troop, so check the custom drag model that we were using Hornady, check any sort of axial form factor issues, make sure that we're shooting as far as we can and everything's tracking. We weren't able to do that, okay? We didn't have time pressures and stuff. Fighting cows, yeah, we turned up and we had to wrangle some cows. I don't have any footage of that,
but some cows in my vans.
It was literally,
I nearly died.
Yeah, it was literally like a lasso. It wasn't us, it was a guy called Roy. He was doing it, and we were there trying to basically corral these cows, yeah, so it was pretty gnarly. We then jumped on, and that's where the videos come from, so the videos of us shooting the pistols and the rifles. We did that. Again, you can see already it's dark in those videos, so it was a case of
we've done what we can.
We've done exactly that. We've done what we could. We used the custom drag model because we knew that's pretty much going to be there or thereabouts, as long as we've got a good muzzle velocity and we've done the rest of our our job on the gun profile. So we then wrote all our data down. We then turned up. So the next day, we then went to, or it was the next day after that, I can't remember. But then we went to Mammoth to then check in and do the zeroing down at Fort Pickett. Yeah, awesome little drive as well. Kind of like in the middle of nowhere.
It was cool. Like the further out from the city, we got the cooler it was, wasn't it? The
100%.
Space just opened up,
yeah,
and it was just
yeah.
like, this is wild.
And that looked kind of like very quintessential or like stereotypical sort of American, like big houses, lots of like area around them,
huge flag outside.
Yeah, huge flags, like farms and stuff like that. It looked really cool. Anyway, we got to Fort Pickett. We then zeroed, did the check-in and zeroed. And that was exactly the same thing. It was just turn up, jump down, shoot. And yeah, I mean, if anything, we were a little bit like, probably could have shot a little bit better, but we were just confirming zero. We hadn't shifted it much. I think your one hadn't shifted. You had some original, because we were playing around.
Yeah, I was playing around with, like the LPE stuff. So I had 0.6 down dialed on just to compensate when I was practicing. I then zeroed, and then I came up, I think 0.2 eventually I came up. Group was fine afterwards. The initial group though, yeah, I was a bit like, oh God, here we go. But yeah. After those sort of cobwebs were blew off, it was good. I was grouping well. So yeah, happy with that. Yeah. Really nice, really friendly.
Yeah, yeah.
Chris, match director, and the ROs that were running that zero range, they were really cool.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to finally meet people as well that we've been chatting to over things like Signal and stuff, and then we met them there, which was like class. And then, yeah, shot. My one was like, it sort of opened up a little bit. I think if I'd shot loads before anyway, like the group would have been representative of what the group was there. Again, could have been a little bit of jitters as well, and just kind of like, fuck, we're here. But anyway, we were like, yeah, it's well within tolerance. Like, they're shooting really, really well, those rifles.
Still sub-M away.
Yeah, it's still sub-M away. We were just like from the day before, but that might have been small sample size. But anyway, then the next day, early morning, we turned up to Mammoth, and that was it. Park up, leave your bags. Leave your car.
Bags in car.
Bags in car, yeah. But leave all that, and then go to go stand by the big tower, have the brief, and then it was time to step off for the first ruck, and we went. What people were saying was the harder route initially. It was 4.5 mile ruck.
It was stinking.
It was, yeah. It was quite undulating as we started, because we didn't really know how to pace it. We knew how to pace it. We were like, right,
16-minute miles.
16-minute miles, that's what we're going for. We knew 100% we could do that. We just didn't know how much to sort of give. We didn't want to sit right at the 16-minute mile and then get to a point where we're like, shit, we need to make up time now, because we didn't know what the ground was going to be like. We know there's some hills here, so we didn't want to go like really close to the threshold and then have to sprint in the last bit. We thought, let's give ourselves some time in the bag early, so that we can then, if we do meet a big hill, we've then got time in the bag. So that's what we did. So there was a guy who shot off initially, really cool guy, who's ended up in our squad, and we were like, we're not going to chase him, we're just going to let him cruise. And we ended up coming in second on that one anyway. We literally just came behind him. We were like, we could have caught him, but we were like, there's no need. These aren't scored or anything. But he
was running on his own, wasn't he?
He was running his own, yeah. So he was just going for it.
His partner was right behind. No, his partner came off the second ruck. But yeah, it was interesting to see how people ran the rucks. Because like in my mind, it's a sniper challenge. You work as a pair, and that's a pair shooting and a pair rucking in sort of my eyes. So me and Max stayed with each other all the way through the rucks, and we were the first team to finish every ruck together, which was good. But it was just different to see other people's tactics. Some guys the fitter guy would sprint to the end as quick as he can, drop some kit, run back. And by that time, his oppo's hanging out. I just didn't get the reasoning behind that, but it was cool to see people's different tactics. Yeah, different tactics.
I mean, it worked. Do you know what I mean? People who did that, it worked for them. You know, some people it didn't. Some people, they did different ways, and that was it. We just ran our own ruck really.
And over the full weekend, we were holding sort of a 13:30 to a 14-minute mile on every ruck. The last ruck we had a 13:25, just because we wanted to get it done. But yeah, it was on average 13:30 to 14-minute miles all the way.
So
it was quick.
Yeah, it was, and again, like for us, because we're Marines, it's just a case of we were like,
let's get it done.
Yeah, get it done. Just why not? Get there, get yourself admin, and then get like ready for the shooting thing. And that's probably a little bit of like this is just our first thing, because there's other people who are definitely coming in quite chill. They're like, my heart rate was really low, and you're like, sweet, yeah, that's fine. We weren't gassed or anything. It was just we wanted to get there, get to the end, get ready for the next thing. Anyway, so we did that. The first ruck, got there. This US Marine called Kurt, he ran past us and was like, guys, he was like, really put some effort in on these, on this hill coming in, because you'll get to a bridge and then it just goes up from there. And we were like, thank you so much. Got to that bridge and it did go up. And we were like, thank God he ran past and gave us a little bit of ground knowledge, which was fine. Shot throughout that day. The first stage we did, I'll put my hand up. I fucked it. Basically, wrote down stage brief and stuff, and it was like, primary, so I'm the primary shooter. So primary, sit behind like the left bucket. Right, there you go. Fuck it up now. No, it was left bucket because I went to the right.
Oh yeah, you went to the right. Yeah,
there you go. So there you go. You trip yourself up these tiny little details, and I wrote down buckets. I'd put like stand behind the buckets, whatever. So anyway, you ran around this van, and then it was basically get to behind the bucket, pull pistol out, you do your shoots. I was really happy with my shoot at this point, because they were probably about 40-50 yards on like these like gongs. I was like pap, 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 and then a marathon target comes out. Anyway, shot that. Once you've done that, you then unload pistol into the bucket and then shout for your partner. You swap, partner comes out.
And then I ran round. I seen Max's kit off to the right, and as I came round, I went, fuck, his pistol's in the right bucket. And the RO looked at me, and I was like, shit. So I shot my stage. I did okay. I didn't do fantastic. I think I hit like maybe 50% of the pistol targets or something. And then I was like, I hesitated, took the mag out, and I went to dump it in the bucket. And I looked at the RO and went, like, I knew in myself I needed to go in the right bucket. So I should have put my pistol in the right bucket, because Max was there. I didn't want to get like stage DQ'd or anything. So I just for safety reasons, I put it in the empty bucket just so there was no confliction. And then we went into the right. Max came back around I think it was a marathon target's truck or something we ran round. Max came back around the front, and then we rolled into the rifle. Shot outside of the buckets on the rifle as well.
Yeah, so that was the
none
next
of those
bit.
points counted either.
Yeah, so we actually shot all right on that stage, that whole stage in total.
Good,
it was pretty good. The first one we were like, fuck.
It was just the last target I couldn't get. I couldn't get eyes
on. It was just there was these diamonds, and you had to. It was like a primary shoots a diamond, call out target, shoots diamonds 3 times. As soon as that you've shot that target 3 times, secondary then shoots those diamonds 3 times, and it was just like bang, 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 bang. Like next secondary, bang, bang, bang. Next target, bang, bang. But they weren't called impacts. And I was looking around like, why are you not calling impacts? And some of them are called impacts, they weren't. And then I realised where I'd set up.
They were called impacts, weren't it? And your ones, there was nothing.
And I was hammering these targets. I was like, there's something going wrong. And where I'd set up, I would, because you basically had to be in the next part of the brief was you have to set up your rifle positions in between the two buckets.
Yeah.
So we set up in between the two buckets, shot,
We got
and
a couple of points after that. Once we realised and you jumped inside.
yeah, and then I looked behind and I was like, oh God. I was like, I'm an idiot. And then I jumped inside and had to set up like a hasty tripod to shoot these other ones. And all in all, like I don't know how much we would have got, maybe like 30 or something, 30 plus points or something like that if we had scored, but we didn't. Anyway, we shook it off, laughed, and then throughout the rest of the day, we actually shot pretty well.
Yeah, like I say,
considering.
I think Jay, so a shout out to Jace Williams, our squad leader, really, really sound guy. Had a laugh with him all weekend. He came up to us after day one and said if we didn't crow that first stage, we'd be in for a shout in the higher teams, which was really, really nice to hear. And bear in mind, that was day one of our first ever civilian competition sort of career.
Yeah.
Which was good. Got the stages up, but like Max said, for the rest of the day, like this stage number 2 was cool. You were shooting through this wood line and targets were hidden behind trees and you were having to shimmy left and right to like miss trees and the targets were tiny.
Yeah. Just before you started, they switched. So the stage brief
was funny.
Primaries had there was like a gong, a square, like a spade, a clover,
stuff, yeah.
And then the secondary had like a gong, a cross, and a square, blah blah. Anyway, got round there and they were like, right, now what we do is primary's going to shoot secondary's target, secondary's going to shoot primary's target. So we were like, oh shit. So we got into position, did the pistol, and then it was like, oh
pistol
god.
was good on that one.
Yeah, pistol was good. There was just 2 targets, like an oval and a ruler, and it was just like bap, sweet, and that was quite good. And then we went straight into the rifle ones, and we shot well on that one. And then the next one after that, there was like again, it was just like some near far stuff. The minivan. Oh yeah, the minivan. That was good.
That was really good fun.
So the minivan one, yeah, minivan was good. So it was a case of run up, and there was it was like animal stage. I think it was, I can't remember who was sponsored, Le Peur maybe.
Le Peur and Burger.
Yeah, and it was animal. So all the targets were shot like animals. So it was like run up, and then it
prairie
was
dogs with
shoot
pistol.
these prairie dogs, and yeah, okay, I kind of I made a mistake this one. So I sprint up first person, pulled a pistol, went pat. So there was 3 targets. I had to shoot them twice.
Each target twice.
So bang, 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 bang. I ran up with it, bang, 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 like impact, and then switch to the next one, bang, 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 impact, and then my slide went to the rear, and I was like, how have I run out? I had the right amount of round, and then I twigged, I went, idiot, it was 2-2-2, and I've done 3-3. So it was an impact, then no call, impact, no call. And then obviously, and then I was like, fuck. So then anyway, then changed the patch then shot, fine. Then it was into the minivan. The minivan was a minivan with like the windows shot out, but then they
glass
had
everywhere,
yeah, glass
cool.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But then it was like a normal minivan. There wasn't like an open space you could set up. It was just climbing over the seat. So I jumped in, and initially when we jumped in, it was a case of like either primary or secondary could shoot. It wasn't a case of you both had to shoot. So we just set up, Patch just set up as a spotter. I just benched off of one of the inside windows.
Tripod rear as well.
Yeah, tripod rear, and we just hammered those targets, and we did really well. We got all of it. So I think it was 3 shots hit or miss on all of them.
But 1 target.
I think we hit every one apart from 1 target. I think might have dropped 2 shots. On the rifle part, so we shot that really well.
What's handy there is, I think what we struggled with throughout the competition, throughout the challenge, was the gaming aspect of it.
Yeah.
And competition shooters, it's a game really. How heavy's your rifle? Like, how can you eke points here? How can you bend the rules?
Yes.
And like we weren't like privy to it. Is probably the wrong way to say. We're experienced in it. And I think this one we tried to game it. I just said to Max, I'm going to take the hit and not shoot. And it paid dividends because I was just spotting down my rifle and I was just bringing Max onto targets using mils. So Max would engage a target and then I'd say, all right, 10 mils right of that previous target, 2 mils down.
Yeah.
You've got a coyote hidden in the bush. Yeah, cool contact went on. Contact, cool, send it.
Yeah.
And that worked really well. And the dialogue between us was really fluid and it felt good, didn't it?
Yeah, that was probably one of our best stages of Mammoth because I was in a good position. The impact, the vortex impact, the overbore LRF really lent itself. It was just a simple case, like click, lays, range, bang, like bring me on to the next one, click, lays, and I was able to spot myself, but Patch was there also to spot me, so we worked really well there anyway. But that was a good stage. We then moved on to the next stage after that, and
Vortex sponsored this stage.
it were, which one was it?
It was the marathon target stage,
Yes.
which was quite funny actually. So they put you down outside. We knew it was marathon targets because you could see the marathons screaming across the skyline all day. Not crazy distances, 2, 3, 4 and 450, so there's 4 of them. And you ran up, so you got your time, shooter ready, everything off the ground, 6 minutes I believe it was. And you ran forward, and then you had like, I was expecting this Vortex banner to be at sort of standing height, but it wasn't. It was at, like, it was on the floor, and there was like squares, all different sizes out of this banner. And then the targets were a small lipsec, and they got smaller and smaller. And it's 2 rounds at each, and surprisingly we both shot really well on that one. And it was like really awkward shooting, so like as opposed to a standing pistol, it's nice and easy, but this one you were like down on 1 knee, down on 2 knees. I was actually lay on my back on the last one shooting through my knees, just to get a position. So like every we should have said every stage starts off with a pistol element. But yeah, exactly that. I like ran, so I was the first one up, ran down, and then mine was on the left, and there was like a bunker in the middle, and then Patch's targets on the right. So I ran over, there was 3. You could not, if you shot through the hole, so you burned the hole basically, that was match DQ. You were kicked out of the entire match, which happened to someone in our squad, which was
absolutely
gutting. 2 really good guys, older guys, and in looking at the target afterwards, he didn't shoot through the full sort of barricade. It was like a nick. The bullet just nicked it, but because it's stated in the rules, anything within 15 foot of your muzzle, that's you match DQ'd, and that was them stage 3 on day 1.
Savage.
So
like, yeah, exactly that. So we then, I jumped down, crack. I think I dropped maybe like 1 or 2 points there, just because I was going a bit fast. Anyway, it was then straight into the bunker. When you go into the bunker, you realise the bunker was set up at an angle, so you could only see the targets if you were shooting out the left shoulder, which was actually absolutely fine.
I know Max said the last stage was our best stage. I think differently. I think this marathon target one was our best stage. Purely because of that, you got down, pistol shot really good, you got down and you were forced to use your left shoulder with marathon targets, with movers, holding a lead. It was fantastic. And then I think my best shot of the competition was on this stage.
So it was a case of like the primary jumps down, then there was a target about, I think it was 600, and it was a case of, it was like a big full body or big torso, and it was a case of nail that. Once you've nailed that, that then activates the marathon targets, and then it was basically a case of shoot the marathon targets until they die, until they drop down. 3 rounds, have to impact 3 rounds, and then a drop. There's 4 of them. Once you've dropped them all, then you could re-engage that full body, impact that, and then it would reset them. So it was basically, it was as many times through as you could go through with the ammo you wanted to expend. And we went 2 times through, and we even went, I mean, because I changed mag, and I was like, because we were conscious, but again, we didn't know how many rounds we were going to use in the comp, so I was conscious. I was like, I don't want to overexpend ammo. So we'd gone 2 times through, and then we were like, let's probably think about this, and then we kind of slowed down a little bit, and then they were like, time. So I think we paced it quite well. We could have got some more points out of it, but you just never know. It's difficult.
That's it, because you don't know the comp, and you don't know what's to come with Mammoth. They don't give you a stage book. You find out on the stage brief. That's it. So we were conscious. But yeah, that was definitely, because of the movement of the range and marathon targets, it's always fun to shoot, working out your leads quickly and stuff like that. And that was definitely the funnest stage for myself. And like you say, my favourite shot, because it was the last one, with 1 marathon left, and he would run behind a berm, and as he was disappearing, I took a headshot on him, and it dropped on the last shot.
It was fantastic.
It was really good.
So like we worked quite well on there. Cool. The method we used for the movers there was a technique that we got shown on a course, on accuracy first course, which was just a case of, your bullet's time of flight for a second, and then you use some of the time of flight, but what you end up with is like a really quick way of counting. So you just go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever the range is, lays it 400 meters, go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that cadence is dictated by this time of flight. We can talk about it in another video, but all we did, so target was there, just going across your line of sight, and you just like, as soon as it goes across, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go, right, sweet. And then that distance there is your lead. And we just put that in front, bang, and it works, an absolute treat. Regardless of what the cosine was for the target. I mean, the wind, obviously you could just use your wind dots from there, whatever, because we was using tremor. And that worked really well. So great stage. There was one more stage after that, but I actually can't remember it. But
no, that was last stage.
Was that last day? Yeah, that was last day.
That was day 1, and then after that was probably the hardest ruck of the comp. It was the way back of that 4.4 or 4.58 miles, purely because on the morning, it's all downhill pretty much until that stinking uphill. On the way back, it's a slight downhill and then all uphill. So after a full day shooting, all your energy is expended, because you're not in between shooting. You're not just stood around. You're not just sat down lazing around. You're stood around. You're confirming dope. You're talking about the stage out. Your head's constantly going. So you are fatigued after day one, and that was quite tough on the way back. Let's say we came in first on that ruck, but we lost a fair few people on that one.
Yeah, it was one of the hardest things with Mammoth as well, I suppose, because it's sustainment, is to keep your calories up. Our eating plan turned out to be quite well. Like,
I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, we had like gels and stuff for the ruck, just because that's just a nice easy hit of energy when you're on the move, easy to eat. But then the actual thing was just like try and get your calories up as much as you could in the time in between. So we had these boil in a bag meals that basically turned out to be MOD rations, but we paid more for them. And then we had these Real Meal bars, shout out Real Meal. Then they were like 600 calories a bar, and it was basically a case of a meal and half a bar, and then a meal, half a bar, and then the other halves were like after the rucks and stuff, and then electrolyte powder in little sachets, just to
one a day.
Yeah, get their hydration back up in the evenings, ready for the next day, and that actually worked really well. We also loaded quite well. Like prior, I felt like a bit of a fat bastard, but we just ate and ate and ate. And it's normal for Patch. And we ate and ate and ate, and I felt a little bit like lethargic. But then when we started, into that halfway through that day one, I was like, I feel the benefits now. My body's like, I'm not below where I usually was. I'm now eating that excess. So I think we sustained ourselves really well, and it showed, because on that last ruck, we soared through it. We were like half a mile in front of the pack, and we came in before everyone else, but we felt good.
I think we came in with like 18 minutes to spare.
So we were just like, let's just get it done. Yeah. And again, we knew the ground, because we'd run that way out. We knew the ground. We knew we had to work hard before the bridge, because we'd had that stinking uphill, and we knew that it was going to be a lot of uphill to get back. So we just thought, let's just absolutely steamroll it, and it worked really well. And that was the end of day one. Cool. So day two then.
Day two, Mammoth Snap Challenge, Fort Pickett, January 2026.
So we. Sometimes like you don't know what year it is. So we woke up, and you're straight into another ruck.
Should we start with the night?
Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. Talk about the night. So we got in after the ruck, and it was just set up. You're just left alone.
It was good actually, because you got all these competitors together. We set up our little LAN shan. We were quite suspicious of it, whether it was going to last, but it's fantastic. And to be honest, I'd use it again next year. It was perfect size. It
was a really, really good tent. It was rated the best on Amazon, and I knew I was taking a bit of a risk getting a cheap Chinese tent, mainly because we just didn't have the budget, man. Mammoth is expensive, and we were trying to skimp on weight and money as best we could, but it was really, really lightweight. I think it's it was something like a kilo, if that. It might have been like 2.1 pounds, or even maybe 1.8 pounds. It was really light, and I was like, you know what, it only needs to last 2 nights. How bad could it be? 4-season tent, and it was really good.
It was absolutely fine. We managed to. You've got the inner compartment where we slept, and we managed to get our rifles in there, all of our sleeping kit, and our chest binders harnesses, and then have our packs just on the outside in the rain shield. And we slept with the doors open. It was nice. It was dry that first day. Wasn't cold. It was actually a bit warm.
It was quite warm, because we're quite close together as well. Obviously, cuddling. So making up some heat as well. And it was a case of the actual the inner and the outer, there's quite spaced apart, so you're not covered in condensation next day. And honestly, for I think it was 150 quid we spent on it. Really good. So anyway, use that. Hydrated, ate.
Hydrated a lot. We were conscious about that.
Just go to sleep. Do a bit of stretching. It was dry as well that night, so it was really easy to do all our admin and stuff. Everyone was sort of laughing and farting and stuff. It was all right. It was good. And then slept through. Woke up next day early. Packed everything away.
I think we got up at 10 to 5 every day.
Yeah, just
4:50 every day.
Because the brief for that day was at 6, and then you step off on the ruck basically as soon as that's done. So we want to make sure we were up. Yeah, fueled, packed everything away, gone to the toilet, shit like that. Just ready, and we were. It was good. People had dropped out after that first day. They just no, they're like that. That's it. Woke up the next day and went, no, I don't want it, because it was raining. That was it.
Cowards.
Started raining. Yeah, it started raining. Probably about
1 in the morning, 2?
About 1 in the morning, and it always sounds worse in a tent. You're sat there and you're like, oh God, it sounds awful outside. But we were just like, look, well, we can't quit, so it doesn't matter. But as soon as you popped your head out, you're like, oh, it's actually quite warm. And
that was it. It was warm rain, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like tropical almost. So we were just in t-shirts and all like long sleeves, and it was like, yeah, it was fine. So we stepped off on the rock, and it was almost like running in like a rainforest or something, because it was humid,
sweaty.
It was really sweaty, really wet. But it was completely achievable, and that route was a lot more forgiving.
It was pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was far better than day one.
It was at 3.72 miles on that one.
7.8.
7.8, yeah. So just shy of 3.8, and it was nowhere near as hilly. The majority of the start is pretty much all downhill, so you could make up loads of time. And all the stages for that day were like in the same location, so it was pretty good. The only bad side was when we got there, we realised we couldn't see anything. So we ended up standing for like hours in the rain.
4.5, 5 hours. We stood literally,
yeah,
because it's self-sustaining. We tried getting away with, can we go in that shelter over there? Obviously, we were told no. And because it's self-sustaining, guys were putting up their tents, which, kind of smart, but also not very smart, because their tent was then soaking when they got it out again. So we just put on the Arctic Stealth jacket and trousers, and it was bomb-proof, to be fair.
And that's not necessarily a plug. That's not really a plug for Arctic. That was just because that's the ones we had, but they were absolutely fine. But we just donned full Gore-Tex.
Gore-Tex and warmers, and just rode out the storm.
Yeah, and we did manage to found a little bit late, but there was like a little bit of a ledge that we could kind of tuck in. But it was fine. There was people who were getting quite cold. We did get quite cold at one point.
We had people drop out.
Yeah, people
just because of the rain. They were like, "This isn't for." And don't get me wrong, it was a torrential downpour, 4 hours. It was pretty horrendous. But and I get why people maybe pulled the plug. It wasn't for them. But then it cleared up. Yeah. And we were actually, out of the 4 stages we were meant to shoot, we shot 2 of them, which was nice. Yeah.
So that's when the challenge changed. So it went from being a 12-stage competition to an 8-stage, because the other guys on the other side of the range, the ones that we shot the day before, because you go like different ways and swap, they again had no luck. So the match director Chris had made the call that basically we would only shoot 8 stages over Mammoth, because there wasn't time to get the full 12. So instead, what we did was we got those two done, and then they went, "That's it. You're now going to ruck back, and then we'll do the other 2 tomorrow." And then everyone would have done 8 then, and it would be fair.
Competition-wise, fair.
Yeah.
Which was obviously a really hard call by Chris. I wouldn't want to do his job. He had a lot of stress, but like I say, he made it run as smooth as he could, given the conditions that we had.
Yeah, and I didn't notice it. Like, I didn't really know. Well, I mean, you just, as a competitor, you just go, yeah, sweet, no worries, I'll just do that. But
the stages we shot were really good fun.
Yeah, I didn't notice a difference. I mean, if anything, you're still tired, so it still felt like you did a whole. I mean, you still did a whole day. But it didn't feel like we didn't, like, oh damn, I've missed out. It felt absolutely fine. So then we rucked back.
What do I go through the stages?
Oh yeah, cool. So the stages then. So the first one was a simultaneous one. So there was no pistol on this this stage. It was a case of start this cone, you run up, set your kit down, and it was on this weird sort of matting type, like.
Yeah, I didn't. It caught me out.
Yeah, it was almost like
a tank track. It wasn't.
Kind of like, imagine tank tracks, but you flip them upside down, and you've got all these little like gaps and spaces. I don't know how to say it. But
it's like rubber, just concertinaed.
Yeah, and so
with like holes.
But it wasn't soft. You like got down on, and it was also like cut out and circled. Anyway, it was a really weird thing to lay on. But you laid on it, and the thing that was an absolute bastard was it just absorbed your bipod. So as soon as you dropped the bipod down, it was like, if you weren't perfectly on these 2 little bits of rubber, it just sucked in your bipod, and you had some issues with that.
Yeah, every time I shot with the 308 slightly larger kick, it would just kick me down one of these holes. It was getting really frustrating, and there was no way, recoil control and all that, but you're talking like it was less than half an inch. It was literally they were tiny, half a centimetre things that you were balancing on.
They were literally bipod's width.
yeah, literally, and it was just so frustrating. So on shot 1 of that the simultaneous coordinated shoot, it caught me out. I was like, fucking hell, what's going on here? But then after that, we managed to rectify it, and we scored pretty well on that one.
Yeah, so the way to score on that one was there was targets out there, and they were both sat next to each other, and it was a case of you both have to shoot the targets at the same time. And if you weren't simultaneous, then you did not score.
So team fell foul of that, didn't they, in our squad?
It was, I'll be honest, it was a kind of a cheeky one because we weren't given a tolerance. Like, what is simultaneous? Well, simultaneous is instant, but okay, what if we're slightly off of instant? What if we're 0.0001 of instant? Like, what then? So there wasn't really given, but what the RO said was we should be able to hear the ding of the first shot or the ding of the first steel whilst we're hearing the ding of the second steel. So yeah, okay,
a bit spurious, but we understood the brief.
We understood.
There's no ambiguity in it. You couldn't go around and be like, oh yeah, but
yeah, obviously
give us a timing and that.
You could argue but we were like, whatever, it's fine. We didn't fall foul of that. It was just some of the targets were difficult to hit, but the targets were so like the first targets were like
it's a strange target. I've never seen it before.
It was an IPSC, with the size of like a armoured plate cut out of it. So you pretty much had almost like a headshot or like this small little rim of the body. Obviously we went for like neck and headshot. First one, patch drop low, and then after that we were like bang, bang, bang. And we were just like, shooting the place of 3. We were just like 5-4 bang, yep, sweet, 5-4 bang, 5-4 bang. And that was fine.
Quite easy from what we're used to with coordinate shooting.
And that kept us in time, so we didn't fall foul of any timing issues. We then jumped out to the next ones, and that's when we've really started to struggle with the lasing because it was tough weather. Yeah. It was humid, it was really misty, and we're using civilian lasers, so the lasers just didn't have the power to punch through that mist. So some other guys there, because there's lots of mill guys there and guys with military grade kit, like 15k lasers and all these, and they had no dramas at all. They were just pointing, and they're straight away they've got a read in, good to go. For us with the Impact 4000, we're us with the Sig Kilo 5Ks or 2Ks.
Yeah.
Anyway, like the earlier versions or the lower end of the the more budget friendly SIGs, we were struggling to laze, and that's where we really fell foul because we were lasing targets at like say 400-500 meters, shooting, dropping way low and going, what is going on there? Turns out actually they were at 800, and it was like but you couldn't really tell because Mammoth likes to put targets out that are certain sizes to make it look like they're different ranges. It's an interesting thing they do. Yeah, he'll put 2 targets next to each other, but they'll be the same size, but they'll be at 2 different ranges, so they look like they're next to each other, but they're not. And yeah, so
it's good.
That caught us out.
Yeah, it's really, and like I say, and that's a competition nuances that we're not exposed, or we haven't been exposed to, but now we're fortunate enough to have.
Yeah. So that was
it made it fun.
Yeah. Afterwards, we were like, damn, but it wasn't like pissed off. You were just like, it was cool.
Yeah.
The next one we did then was that was a helicopter one.
Huey. Yeah, that was cool.
So Scott Whitehead, a veteran Mammoth
15
champion and competitor.
Mammoths.
It was his stage. I can't remember who it was sponsored by. He grilled us about not writing
MDT.
down. Sponsored by MDT, that was it.
Yes.
And so MDT stage, and it was a Huey, like a Vietnam era Huey. And
cool.
You run up there, and it was basically a case of, I had priority targets, and I had to hit them 3 times. Once I'd hit them, or I had to shoot at them 3 times. Once I shot at them, there was like a row of targets about 400 meters for the secondary. So basically go ding, 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 ding. And it was a case of I couldn't move on to my next targets until the secondary had gone ding, 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 ding. However, there was a little bit of nuance to it that we failed to cotton onto, and it was set up that way. The idea was, or the best way to make points on this one was to basically completely just forego
the
primary targets, just skip them and just go ding, 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 and just do that and have the secondary.
Grabs,
and just have and there was also a very easy bonus target. So on all stages there's a bonus target. If you hit that, you got 5 points instantly, which is a nice point grab. Yeah. So anyway, we saw the bonus target straight away. I took a shot at it, I missed it, and then we were in my head I was like, well, I need to get through these targets, so we'll leave that now. Anyway, so I went for these targets. They were difficult to laze because of the conditions. They were far targets. I was not in a very good position. I was tucked up in the back of this Huey trying to bench off of this window. I should have tried for tripod rear, but I just got sucked in, and I was missing. And Patch was basically going, come on man, hurry up, because I want to get these, because Patch had sort of realised we can get more points on these secondaries, but I got sucked in.
I was set up similar to Max in. I was benched off the side of Hugh, but I was in tripod rear, so I felt really confident. And like I say, my targets, Max's were all staggered and different, whereas mine were just 4 in a bank of a row, and I was pretty confident that I was good to go pretty much. So I was trying to hurry I should have just made the decision and gone skip primary and just called it on the ground there and taken the sort of like flop my balls out and just be like, Max, hold there, skip, because then I could have made up the points. I didn't do that, and in hindsight, maybe I was getting in Max's head as well, going, mate, come on, hurry up, I'm on, which doesn't help the team at all.
So we finished that stage, so like Pat, his first shot was like high. I was like, I lased it for him, got him a range, he shot high, adjusted him, and then he was like absolutely on. All these targets were next to each other, so they were like same range. So it was easy for the secondary to get the points. Once we were done,
we got 8 points there low on that, which was
which was fine.
20, I think 24 were up for grabs. And managed to get 8, which obviously in hindsight doesn't sound great, but in this
most
situation,
people fell foul of that same thing as well.
A lot of people, the top shooters all fell foul of that that stage just because they didn't click on. And I mean, Scott was really nice afterwards, wasn't he?
Yeah, so afterwards he poked his head in. He would have done this for everyone. He poked his head in and went, what were on this stage was basically set up for you to fail. He was like, what was giving you the most points per minute? And obviously straight away we were like, the secondary targets. And that's when we were like, oh yeah, obviously. So we kicked ourselves after that. But it was a fantastic stage.
It was awesome, and it was cool to shoot outside of a helo. Like obviously we used to do it as a job, but in a competition where like the targets are tiny, it was really good fun. If you would say what is Mammoth Sniper Challenge, I would say that Huey stage, because it had everything that was difficult. It had really interesting props. There was music blaring. There was like Fortunate Son or something. Yeah.
So there was like music blaring. There was like loads going on. Really interesting targets, and it had so much potential to game it. And that to me was a Mammoth stage. That was like, there we go. That is Mammoth. Anyway, did that. And that was those two done, and then it was just time for the rock back. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. It was just the same as the way out. We knew it was slightly less, so 3.52, I think it is, or 3.58. It was
3.78
or 3.78. Yeah, and it was okay. It was an okay rock back. Like I said, we managed. We had a little running joke with a couple of guys in our squad. It was like we were coming back to take over, sort of thing.
Yeah, the British are coming. Yeah,
British are coming. But yeah, we stomped that ruck out, got back, and it was still it was rained all evening. Set the tent up, admined ourselves. Not fantastic because my dry bags had bust. But like I say, day 2 Mammoth. It was a learning experience. Hard. It was tough, challenging because of the weather. I think if it hadn't a torrential downpour, it would have been much easier.
Oh, if it was the same conditions as the day before, there would have been some much higher scoring points. Yeah.
But I mean, it affected us. It also affected the whole scoreboard. Everyone else struggled to see targets and the drop points. So, yeah, Mammoth day 2.
Yeah, cool. And then so same routine. As soon as we got back, all about that admin: eat, hydrate, stretch, get your head down. Woke up the next day. That night, one of the ROs came round.
Oh, that was fun.
Like blaring like an air horn and like screaming and playing music really loud and stuff, just to kind of mess with us. I'll be honest, we were all so tired. We just went all right and then went back to bed.
Roll back over.
Yeah. So oh well. But anyway, we then got up in the morning. Same routine. Pack everything down like 10 to 5. Get over for the brief, and then for us that day we were going back to that same range, so we had an easier ruck 2 of the days. So we were like, we're definitely going to have to catch that at some point. Yeah. So anyway, but put that to back of it. We're like, yeah, sweet. Just take the prof and get down to the range. Get down to the range, and we did the 2 second rucks. Sorry, the 2 second stages. So this one's the first one. It was like a van, wasn't it? It was stay at the back, run up, shoot the targets, get into the minivan.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of not a minivan like the one on the first day where you were like sat on the side of the minivan. It was kind of like a little
postal van.
It was like a UPS van with the back open, and you run up, and then there was 4 IPSEC targets they're like body steels but like smaller. I don't know, maybe at like 20 yards or something like that. And it was a case of
20 to 35, I think.
Yeah, so it was something like take 2 shots at each and then set up into the van. So ran over, pat, like shot really well there. And then it was me straight into the van to go set up. And then Pat, you ran up.
Yeah, I ran up, and I was really annoyed at myself after this stage. I'd run up for the pistol targets, made ready in that, pulled pistol out. As I pulled my pistol out, the red dot that I was using was all like fogged up, and I couldn't see any. I couldn't PID anything through the red dot. Wiped it, went straight to irons, but at that time I'm at like Mind State Black, and I've racked off all 8 rounds. I've not hit a barn door, and I'm already beating myself up in my head there, which, well, because I know I can hit those targets.
Yeah.
And Mammoth is meant to do that. It's meant to get in your head, and it did fully get in my head. Then I was fuming at myself.
And that stage, it was a tough stage. So it was a case of you jump in, you set up. We were set up next to each other, and it was a case of so there was targets out there, and they were different shapes, and they had different posts on them, and it was the red targets were my targets, the red post targets were my targets, the white post targets were Patch's targets, but they were the same shape. So it'd be like duck, and they were both shaped like they were steel ducks, for example. And it'd be like primary red duck, spotters on red duck, sweet. I would then shoot that. I then had to shoot that one. Once I'd shot that one, we then switched to the secondary shoot that one. Some of them were like set up so they weren't next to each other. Some of them were like
classic Mammoth,
like a different ranges, just to try and mess with you. So it was a case of like ranging for each other and then spotting each other and then moving back onto the targets, and it was tough. We struggled with we lost loads of confidence in the LRFs that day, because it was a case of like every time we were lasering things, it was just like we were just way off. So there's something going on, but you can't tell with an overbore LRF. You can't just turn on like a visible laser and go, oh, I'm out of alignment. Like, you need a little bit of time to try and lay stuff and then work out where your kind of box is, and we just you don't have time for that in a stage. You can't get your rifle out in between stages and check this stuff. So it was just a case of don't know. So we were struggling to lay stuff, and we paid the price heavily on that stage. I think we only got points from the pistol targets that I shot at the start, and then after that it was a case of once they timed out on that stage, they were like, right, you've got another thing. It was like a follow-on task, and it was
like find the green ammo liner within the postal truck. And like Max found it, jumped on, found it, and it was like you have 1 minute to engage the orange IPSEC.
It was like a yellow full body,
yellow full body with 3 rounds max. Jumped back down, and we were scanning and searching. And I couldn't find that thing. Max couldn't find that thing, and then they brought us onto it in the end, and we were just like, fuck.
So that target had been hammered with rounds probably from the first day, and it was just grey. There was some yellow on it definitely, but it was, once I saw it, I was like, oh. But I was looking further. It was actually a little bit closer than I thought. So I was scanning. I was like, I can't see anything. And then that was it. Time. And then it was afterwards. We sat in the holding cell with the guys who'd already shot the stage, and they were like, "Did you see the target?" We're like, "No, honestly, couldn't find it." And he was like, "Oh, look, I'll show you." He was like, "We found it afterwards," and we're like, oh. So then he had these stabilising binos, and we were like, damn it. And it would have been easy points. So we were frustrated after that stage.
Yeah, I had to have a quiet word with myself.
it was a frustrating stage. We then went on to the final stage of Mammoth 2026, and it was a nice stage. It was a start at the back. It was a pistol stage at the start, but they were quite far.
Oh they were like 45 and 60 yards.
Yeah, and it's so stand on support. So start at the back with all of your kit. And then it was like put all of your kit down, and then sprint up to this table, and then draw pistol, and then unsupported stand in. It was 4 rounds onto the near. It was like a small 25, sort of like a torso, upper torso. It was like bang, 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 bang. Once I'd done 4, it was index, and then you went bang, 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 bang. Once you'd done that, I then go for the far one, bang, bang, bang. I was frustrated myself because when I zeroed my red dot, I should have put some more time in confirming my zero, my red dot, because when we initially shot, I had set up for a converging zero, mainly because it was like it just looks good at the time. But I went for a converging zero, and it was about maybe like 10 meters, if that, about 10 meters. So I was then converging. So when it was much further, it was in this weird sweet spot where, at least this is what it felt like, the bullet was raising. So I was like holding above the target, going over the top of the target, and I was like, why am I missing? I then, on my last shot on the far target, I shot below it and hit, and I went, wonder whether that's something to do with my zero. So lost some silly points there. We still got some hits on the target, on the near ones.
We got, I think on that pistol, out of 16, I think we got 4.
Yeah, so we still got some hits. It was tough. Loads of guys were struggling on that one. Like, it wasn't just us.
Yeah, it was a struggle across the board stage, this one.
Yeah, and then it was run back, grab your rifle, and come back and then set up on this table. And the table, initially we thought we'll go into it, we'll move our bipods like closer to our trigger guard and our magazine, so that if the table's really tight, we could still get maximum amount of.
We tried to game it.
Yeah, we tried to game it basically. Turns out that the table was really forgiving. So we just left the bipods where we were, and we were basically in a standing prone. like an elevated prone.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, it was completely comfortable. But the targets were at, so we got told at the start, the targets for the primary are at
890 yards.
890, that's it, yeah.
Targets for the second of all for myself were at 800 yards, roughly.
Roughly. Yeah, they told us roughly what they were, and we were like, okay, fine. So we wrote down the dope for that, and it was a case of I had 5 shots, hit or miss on my target. It was the big gong. It was called. I think it was. I don't know how big it was, but it was a bigger gong, maybe 12 inches. And then it was Patch. Then he goes onto a big diamond. Again, I think it was 12 inches.
Then it went down to 10. Yeah.
And then it went down, or it was something like that. I can't remember. But it was a big gong, and then your next ones were on a small gong.
5 rounds at each.
Yeah, 5 rounds at each. We hit the far. So my one, I hit it 3 times, like from a really good call. Patch brought me on because lo and behold, it wasn't
splash at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
They set it up so that it was almost like they were on some sort of skyline, or on like the far ones there was a berm, but it was like 500 yards behind where the target was. So there's no feedback, no splash. And I managed to, on Max's second shot, I managed to get, I thought it was his swirl. It must have been because I made a correction off that, and then Max dropped 3 straight onto that diamond, which was quite fortunate.
Onto the gong, yeah.
Onto the gong, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so we picked up some points there, and then went on to Patches, and for the life of me, I could see splash, but it was like, it was in such a weird position because the dime was here, but I could see splash like a couple hundred yards or so behind, but to the left, and then it was like, okay, sorry, like, I think you're going over the top of it, so like, right, come down. But then again, seeing it in the same plate, and it was just a really difficult call because this thing was stood up and there was this flat ground behind it, so it was really difficult to call where that round was coming. Couldn't see any swirl. Wind kept changing as well. So the average score on that stage was 0.
Yeah, we came
around with
points on that score.
For our squad. Yeah, I think it was 6.
Yeah.
So it's not about HPS in like highest possible score on all the stages. It's just about
clean average.
It's just about being like doing better than others basically. So we were happy. We finished Mammoth on a high. Didn't feel like a high because we were like, fucking hell, we missed all those.
And then we got a ruck back, which was gopping.
Yeah, but we finished strong in my eyes.
I thought we put a good showing.
Yeah,
definitely brought it back from stage 1 of that day. Like I say, I was very, very frustrated in myself. But they're designed to get into your head. Like Chris designs the stages so that you do beat yourself up, because that's how people drop. His job is to cull the pack, basically.
Yeah, and the day before, the stages were all like very points heavy, so it was quite easy. They were quite
generous.
Very generous on points. So it was like lots of targets, quite big targets, quite close targets. So you could you could feel like a legend. The next day, it was more technical, so they're a lot further away, a lot smaller, a lot more nuances, and so it wasn't as high a scoring. But obviously, each score, like you flick flack. So both halves of Mammoth have a turn on the points heavy one and the technical heavy one.
It's a cool way of doing it, I thought.
Yeah. So there was one day that would definitely make you kick yourself and go, "Oh, I'm terrible." And we had that the second day, whereas the other guys, they had that the first day. And I remember seeing the team Australia, Tim and Jono, after the first one, we'd just had an incredible day on the points heavy one. We were like, this is awesome. And they were like, honestly, I shot terribly. And we were like, oh God. So we were like, is it set up like a points heavy and technical, or, like, was that just a dip? Like, did they just struggle? And then no, exactly that. It was technical. Like, we got in there and everyone from like our on those stages was like, those were a lot harder. So it was just set up that way, but it was good.
Yeah, it was good. And then, like I say, as soon as you finish there, hydrate, fuel, and then ruck back, and they put in a little sort of dog leg, so you had to run out, what was it, an extra 0.7 one way, so then it added 1.4 onto the whole ruck. So then it evened out that we all done the same distance on the rucks for fairness throughout the challenge, which was... It was good to see them even that out like that, as much as we didn't like it at the start because it was all downhill. Turn around, we're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ruck was fine. We like I said at the start, we absolutely stormed that ruck because we were like, this is the last one, let's get it in. And it was really nice to get that ruck done. I absolutely belt-fed the gels at the end, and I've paid the price for it afterwards in the award ceremony, absolutely crashing. But it was really nice to come over the line, and Jim Marshall, pulled us to one side, didn't he? And he sort of shook our hand and said one Marine to another, thank you for coming out here. He's like the founder, the curator of Mammoth Sniper Challenge. He owns Grunt Style. And he gave us a huge Grunt Style flag for our LRT Med Solutions HQ, which was awesome, wasn't it? Really nice touch.
He was just like, for coming first on the rucks and, like having like a really good rucking speed throughout, gave us that. So it was like such a small thing, and it was just, but that meant a lot for us because we said from the start, and you can check us in all our other videos, we knew we were going to struggle with the shooting side because of all these barriers that were coming up, the different, like the rifles in country, the pistol we haven't been able to shoot for a while, like all these different things. But we knew for a fact, like fizz and running with weight and putting ourselves to the red line and putting ourselves in the locker is something we know and we've been doing for the last 10 years. So we thought, if there's anything, if we come off of fizz, basically, we'll be a laughing stock for all our friends. So we're like, well, there's no way we can come off of that. And we thought, if we can't be up there in the shooting, we can definitely be up there in the physical side of things. And I think we went there with that mindset. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it shone through. The physical side of things, it isn't competitive. It's just purely kind of ego, I suppose, but it's not competitive. If it was competitive, it would have been a lot tougher. There would have been a lot more people like going for it. But there wasn't. Lots of people just there trying to survive. Some people are there just kind of like doing their own thing. Some people are there to push it or whatever. But we were like, let's just get through all of them and just kind of, if people remember us for anything, they'll remember, oh, those Marines were pretty fit, weren't they? So that's kind of what we were looking for. We just want to go there, finish the challenge and have fun. And I think we can. To the ROs as well. Yeah, completely. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I think we got all of our objectives that we wanted. But yeah, that Patch just touched on there. The ROs and the staff, the supporting staff. Like the match director, like everyone, it's been humbling. I think in the UK we're quite, we're quite like, not arrogant, but like we're a little bit like, we're polite, we're known for being polite, blah, blah, this and that. Nah, like this, everyone we've met in America they couldn't do more for us. The ROs on the competition, they were like taking photos with us. They were like, you guys are awesome. Like they were just so polite, so nice. Like, it was, and we made a point after everyone to shake all the ROs' hands just to thank them for being there. But also we've RO'd before, and we remember when people have come up to us afterwards and go, thank you so much for your time, like being here and putting this and helping putting this on, and that means a lot to an RO. And when we just wanted to make a point of say thank you to everyone, and everyone did, and they even give us some beers at the end. They were like, fucking yeah, what'd you drink? And we were like, I don't know, like Guinness, and they were like, yeah, sweet. And then one of the ROs came over afterwards, was like, here, this is for you. So
got a cool helmet.
Yeah, sound. So and that was Mammoth. We had the prize ceremony.
That was cool, wasn't it? Some
really good dudes won it. There were some unbelievable shooters, and it was a fantastic time to be part of all of that. And then the prize table was massive.
Jesus Christ, there was rifles, there was actions, there was stocks, there was opposite, everything. There was something for the guys that placed 43rd, the last guys to complete Mammoth, and the guys to place first. Everyone got something cool.
Yeah.
Like I got a cool Kafira backpack, I got a gun maintenance kit, I got some stickers, I got a 308 mag for the 308 gun to go back with us. Like, what did you get?
Yeah, I got a. Well, before I'll quickly say how it works. So it's a case of like the prize table was there, so you can go have a look. You can't touch anything, but it was a case of the person who's first goes up, gets the Mammoth finisher patch, shakes hand with Chris, and then goes over and then basically has first pick of everything. Then the next second, third, fourth. So everyone basically just walks the table. By the time you get there, obviously it kind of works itself out as like the better stuff has gone to the guys who finished top, and you're still left. But I say the better stuff, there was still some really good stuff, and some guys didn't. They were like, well, they might have been a sponsored shooter, they might have loads of things. They're like, well, I don't need action, I don't need this. So then there was guys who were like maybe 20 place, and they suddenly got, shit, I've just got Stiller action. So it was like, it works really well. But yeah, we went up there. I got some
ammo. You got Lapua ammo.
Oh yeah, I got 200 rounds of Lapua ammo. I got a mag pack, like a Kydex mag pouch. I got like some rings, some scope rings, like a monomount QD scope rings. I think that was it.
Yeah.
And some stickers and stuff, yeah. So.
And then the Mammoth finisher patch.
And the Mammoth finisher patch, which is why I want to be there.
That's what we've done it for.
Yeah. The two things that we were well happy with is the Mammoth finisher patch and that flag.
The Grunt Style flag.
The Grunt Style flag. Those are the two things that meant the most. Because I mean, we're in a very fortunate position where we have lots of kit, and we're able to procure lots of really good kit. So like the stuff, it definitely helps, and we're so appreciative of that, because it means we can build some really cool rifles. But it's the sentimental stuff that we're like, holy shit, that's when you're like,
makes it.
that's memories there. So we're so appreciative. So we just want to say thank you then to everyone at Mammoth, everyone from the supporting staff right at the bottom. I say the bottom, right at the back end. It's probably a better way of saying it.
Don't see, yeah.
People we don't see who are working so hard behind the scenes, all the way to the guy, you know, right at the top, Chris, who's organising everything. Like everyone, all the ROs, all of the range staff, all of the medical staff, all of the people who've given up their time and their weekend to come and help out, and it's just like incredible.
And the competitors as well.
The competitors, everyone who attended as well, because there wouldn't be a competition without the people competing. So it's like, and everyone's been incredible. Everyone's been an absolute statesman for their country. Everyone has been so accommodating, so helpful, and just fantastic. I genuinely could not recommend the Mammoth Sniper Challenge enough. Even if you're from a different country where, say, pistol laws and stuff like that, like if you can work out a way of not getting around it, but if you can work out a way of sorting yourself out so you can do it and you can compete, it is a competition or challenge, should I say, that is worth every penny, and is like no other outside of the military. Like, you can't do something like that unless you are, I'd say, serving. Otherwise, yeah, you've got to do something like Mammoth. So thank you, honestly, thank you so much. Anything else?
Thank you to brand.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, from sort of LRT, myself and Max, thank you very much to Arctis. This wouldn't have happened without you guys. Ronan, Stuart, Rob, Dale, everyone, Chris involved. It's been fantastic. We've managed to get all your gear to America.
Yeah, we literally went around now. Literally, I'm fully in.
We've managed to get all the gear to America. We've had people ask about it, ask our honest opinion about it. We field tested it. We've put it under stress, under pressure. And yeah, please, if for all you guys watching this on YouTube, please hit Arctis up, LRT10. Feel free to go on the store, have a look at all the stuff. After using I've used their kit for a while now, and I really like it. After actually field testing parts of their kit, it's cemented the partnership and the relationship we're building with Arctis is strong, and the foundations are there now to do great things in 26. So thank you guys for this, and thank you for your continued support to sort of help us grow as well, and help us professionally develop. Because this was a test for us as much as it was the kit as well. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to Sportsman Gun Centre and Axis Works. We've mentioned them before, but the guns or the rifles that we used for Mammoth, the absolutely incredible rifles that we were able to use. Or even some of the guys were calling us the $35,000 or $35,000 team or whatever as like a joke, because the guns that we had were like, they're expensive. It's a premium rifles, but they custom made, flew in from Arizona, like unbelievable, and that was hooked up through Sportsman to Axis Works, and then we're hooked up by Eric at Axis Works. So we just want to say thank you so much for allowing us to use those absolute pieces of art, and trusting us to take them back to the UK. So we're flying them back to the UK, and they're going to be our competitor guns going forward in the UK, as well as sort of pushing Eric's like magician work over there. If you need a custom gun, please do go over to Axis Works and take a look. Check him out. It's going to be more premium for people outside the US, but hey,
it's worth every penny.
It's unbelievable.
They're a joke.
They're absolutely ridiculous. So we can't wait to have more videos on them back in the UK. Get them on British soil. They might melt. I don't know. Maybe, but and then I want to say thank you to Optics Warehouse for supplying the Binus harnesses, and Sean and Lloyd at Optics Warehouse for all the little bits and bobs that we kind of take for granted, or we don't think about, that we just kind of use without thinking, and we go, actually this was a massive help. So things like our laser range finding capabilities, tripods, like
the wolf stuff, the wolf gear. I can't fault that wolf gear. Took it to Scotland, beat it up. I beat it up on a Deco, and I've now beat it up in a competition, and it stood both tests. There is a version 2 coming out of the Binus harness. Please stay tuned for that. Head over to Optics Warehouse and pester them, ask them when it's coming out, because I don't actually know when it's released. It looks fantastic, and I will be getting my hands on that to also put that to the test.
Really budget friendly as well, which I think is good. And then we used Real Mill bars. Real Mill they hooked us up with a nice little discount, so shout out Real Mill. Tier 1, so the bipods we used and the rings that I used were fantastic. The diving boards. Unfortunately, we weren't able to run both on our rifles. There was a slight mix up, and we ended up with a set that was the wrong ring diameter. So we ended up taking some Night Force Ultra mounts, and then the NX8 that Patch was running, he had that. We were looking to get like a diving board for it, so we could run another Vortex Impact, but yeah, it just came down. It just time and little things. We just didn't have time to rectify these issues, so we ran it. But the bipods are fantastic. Those carbon bipods are brilliant.
The Tier 1 tactical bipod.
Yeah, tactical carbon bipod. Like, it's not cheap, but it is good, very good for this sort of thing. Ultra lightweight, ultra sturdy. You can adjust it on the fly, and it is good.
Had no issues with them. And then Night Force, as always. We both rock Night Force optics. Obviously, we've got a strong affiliation with Alan and the team at Night Force, which is, it's just a pleasure to use that kit, and we've put it to test in work in our previous careers, but to put it in a testing competition setting, it didn't falter. I absolutely, you know how we feel about Tremor and Night Force, and it stood up, didn't it?
There's one thing that Night Force are 100% known for, and it is you put that glass on top of your rifle, and you can damn bet that glass is going to be exactly where it is when you come to grab that rifle. Like, they have been
rugged and reliable.
They have been creating optics for people in the most arduous, stressful environments. So for this competition, there was no doubt that they were going to absolutely soar, and there was I never once thought, what about my optic? Like, I was throwing that rifle around, I was beating it up, not because I was trying to, but just because of the nature of the competition. You're throwing bags down, you're running, it's constantly getting beaten. Of course, other optics can do it, but I knew I can put my trust in Night Force, and it proved that in Suede. So thank you very much to Night Force. But yeah, that's it. This is obviously a long video. If you've stayed to the end, then we really appreciate you guys. We're not influencers, we're not content creators and stuff. Like, we are kind of becoming content creators because we have created content, but by no means are we any good at this. We just do it because, we're told we should, but no, we do it because we are passionate about what we do, and this allows us to reach other people that are also passionate about it. And if that gets another person in the UK into shooting, then that is incredible, because we just want to surround ourselves with like-minded people. So if you're one of those people and you're here at the end, we fucking appreciate you.
Yeah, and please, if you are one of those people, get in touch. We have got courses put out for the rest of the year now. There's space on all of them so far. We also run the one-on-one courses in North Devon, so please stay tuned for more sort of updates on those. And we have released pistol courses for this year over in France. So if you are interested, please drop us a message on the info email. All the details will be below. And please go over to Arctis LRT10 and grab yourself anything from socks to the Vulcan to the Phantom, whatever you need. Just let them know we sent you.
Sweet. And enjoy this Shenandoah view.
Unbelievable, Jeff.